Okay, and we are live. Okay, we are live. Hello to everyone who's joined us so far. I'm sure we'll have a few more people sort of hop on as we continue. But my name is Michael, and I'm the head of film and video here at ArtWorks. And welcome to the first of 4 digital events covering the ArtWorks Together online exhibition.
And my name is Dominica, and I'm the Funding and Engagement Officer. So like Michael said, this is the first of 4 events, so please do join us back here in 2 weeks for the first Meet the Artist session. But this is the guided tour, and if anyone has any questions, please pop them in the chat and we'll be answering as we go along.
And before we get started with our main presentation, I just wanted to mention that these events are made possible by generous funding from Arts Council England. So without further ado, I'll set us going.
Hi, my name's Kayleigh. I'm one of the directors of ArtWorks based in South Yorkshire, and this is our first year of our international arts competition aimed at people with learning disabilities and autism. My background before starting ArtWorks is filmmaking and also photography. They're my specialisms.
Hi, my name's Liz Carrington and I'm the other director of ArtWorks. My background's working with adults with learning disabilities and autism, and I have a background in teaching.
And I'm Emma. I am the arts coordinator at ArtWorks, so I organise all the different activities that go on here. My background's in curation and organising art exhibitions. And before that, I specialise in sculpture. So we're going to have a chat through all the pieces in the exhibition and what we think of them. We loved every piece of work in the exhibition, and we were so impressed with the quality of everything in it. So we're going to do a walkthrough, looking at all the different pieces of work and having a little chat about that. So I'll share my screen now.
Oh, this is exciting. Me and Liz have been dreaming about having this exhibition for quite a number of years now. So yeah, it's fantastic that we've actually got here in such an awful year as well, when the world's full of COVID. We've managed to pull this together. So yes, very, very happy.
Okay, I'm going to start the guided tour now.
There we go. So yes, we feature 34 artists with learning disabilities and autism from 13 different countries. Some of those countries, like the USA, Malaysia, feature more than once. Is there any other countries that feature more than once, Emma? Can you remember?
The USA, UK, England.
Of course, yeah.
This is a piece of work by Hisper, who is from the UK, from England, and I love this piece. I think that it's really interesting, sort of the layers of texture and the different processes that she's used to do this. I like the scratchy quality in the textures on the figure. I think it's beautiful.
The process has been used for this.
Yeah, it's a print. It's first used a risograph printer and then drawn the figure in and used transfer printing.
Does monoprint suggest it's something that can only be created once?
So yeah, monoprints, you can do lots of different prints, but you won't get the same effect every time.
Yeah. I mean, like, but this piece for me to have as the very starting piece of the exhibition, it's the colours are amazing, they're very vibrant, and it's a strong piece of artwork, and it was a strong contender, I think, for one of the prizes. But they can't all win prizes, can they? I suppose. I actually look at this and I think it's quite reminiscent of. Do you know Brian Winter, Emma?
I don't know.
No, he did some artwork. I think he's like a 50s artist. He did a piece of artwork called Path Through Wood, which is, I believe, part of the Tate collection. And yeah, that's what I think of when I look at this piece of artwork. Yes, it's very good. I'd love to see this as a series in a solo exhibition.
I agree. It just makes me really happy looking at this. I love all the colours, the detail. Yeah, I think it's beautiful.
Yeah, strong start, very strong start.
Okay, so moving on. So this piece is by David Minto, also from the UK, and it's an image of Run DMC, a painting. And what I love about this piece is the strong colours and the contrast in the colours. I think that the sort of blockiness of it makes it a really bold, interesting image. And I like the expressions on the faces and how they're definitely different characters. The other thing I think is really interesting about this piece is the way the light bulb's hanging above his hat, and it fits perfectly.
Run DMC painting.
There's something really pleasing about that.
Yeah, there is. And I mean, like, for anybody who's watching this that actually remembers Run DMC from when they were in the prime, I mean, this to me, it's like sort of like, what was that song? Do you remember that song? It's Tricky that they did.
Yeah.
Like, this is what I think of when I think of this painting connected to Run DMC. Yeah, I mean, like, the classic Adidas representation, which you saw quite a lot, and the colours just pop. It's interesting as well, because I wouldn't say these colours relate to the sort of colours that you might associate with like the mid-80s. But yeah, I mean, those hats are just absolutely classic, aren't they? Run DMC. It's really fun. It's really nice, this picture.
I love the colours, how striking it is, and I'm sure if Run DMC saw this, they'd love it too.
Super. So this piece is by Derek Williams. He's also from the UK, and the piece is called Gathering. And I think in the text it talks about how this artist community, there's a lot of importance in meeting and getting together. And I think at this time when we can't get together, it's really nice to have that sort of vibrancy in a picture and sort of the connection. And I think this picture really shows that, with the closeness of everybody and the sort of movement in it. I think well, for me anyway, I think it really shows you sort of that sense of gathering and getting together as a community and celebrating being with other people.
Just a lovely piece. I love the different facial expressions as well. I think the colours work really well together.
Yeah, this person on the left, I think they've got a great facial expression, sort of almost like thoughtful.
Yeah, can I just say about this piece is I think this piece of artwork is immense, and every time I look at it, I can see different details that I couldn't see before. I love the circles that are just behind the heads, which suggests it's lots more people.
So this is a piece by Amy Ellison. I think she goes to Venture Arts, which is in Manchester. And I believe she created this piece during lockdown, depicting her favourite characters from Coronation Street, so Audrey and Lewis. I don't watch Coronation Street, so I don't know, but I think what's nice, so it's a stencil. What's nice about this piece is it's a sort of really intimate, and the connection of somebody helping you put your necklace on. There's something really, again, I think that right now having that sort of connection and sort of seeing like people just do something like a really little task to help somebody else is really sort of uplifting and nice.
Yeah, it's such a sweet image, isn't it? It's sort of it melts my heart when I see it and gives me that warmth, just that. And it's again like the last piece, just having that sort of physical contact, which no one is having at the minute as well. I don't know if that makes it a little bit more warming to me. It's just.
I also like the way it's put together. So the sort of blockiness, which is because of the method she used, the stencil, but the way that you sort of get the sort of blocks of colour, but the different textures you can see. I think it's really great. I'm not entirely sure how she's done this, but the way it's falling, you can see the shadow on the faces, and I think that's really clever as well. It's a brilliant use of the materials.
Yeah, well done, Amy.
The thing is about this piece of artwork is you like it for very different reasons to me. So I've got a great appreciation for pop art, and I really enjoyed looking at this because it's got those classic pop art colours of the yellow, reds and the blues. What's it called, that artist, Emma?
Warhol, Lichtenstein.
Roy Lichtenstein. Yeah, it's that's what I think of when I look at this. Yeah, I think it's very nice, and I'd love to see more pieces of artwork by this artist.
Yeah, and I think it's focusing on popular culture, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah, pop art. It is pop art.
And is this a self-portrait? This one?
Yeah. So this is a I think it's called portrait. Yeah, Portrait of Me, by Nicholas Selway.
And I really like the jumper as well, which I know he mentions. But yeah, he's done such a good job. I always find it really difficult doing a self-portrait. So
there's so much expression in the face, and I think you just get a real sort of feeling for a person, which is really difficult to do, I think, in any sort of portrait, sort of capturing not only sort of what we can see about a person, but sort of something about somebody's expression and their personality. And there's so much feeling in this picture. I think it's brilliant.
Yeah, not lie.
And compositionally, I like the fact that it's sort of the person sort of almost hunched to the left of the picture.
Yeah,
I think that's really nice. And the colour scheme, I think all the greens, it works really well, and it having the green on green, it really stands out, makes it really vivid, the figure.
Yeah, the background as well, all the different sort of textures and things. I'm not sure how that's been done with paint.
Yeah, it looks like maybe on the piece. Yeah, and all the details on the jumper as well, I think that really make it.
This piece of artwork, I absolutely loved seeing this. I really like the use of greens. I don't know how somebody can use so much green in a picture and you not actually get sick of the colour green. Yeah, it's amazing. Can I just say, am I right in thinking we had a lot of entries from people that are autistic in the UK, and a lot of them were self-portraits. Is that right, Emma? Just from memory.
I thought it was interesting actually that we had a lot of self-portraits just across the board enter, and a lot of images of figures as well, which I think is really interesting given the time we're in, when, I don't know, people and human connection, there's a real there's a lack of it, and I think that it's quite interesting that a lot of the artwork reflects that.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah, no, it's a really nice self-portrait.
So shall we move on to the next piece? This is a piece by Kawaga Salingi called Circles. And I believe Kawaga is from the UK.
Yeah.
And I really like just the vibrancy of this piece, and the different patterns and colours. I just think it's really aesthetically pleasing. You just want to keep looking at it, and there's lots of different details that you don't notice at first, and then the more you look at it, you realise, you know, that all the details of the different paint around the different circles and how the layers are built up. Yeah, I think it's really interesting.
The colours really complement each other. I mean, this, you could literally almost hang this in any space and it'd look amazing. It'd look nice in homes, in offices, in restaurant spaces. Yeah, it's a pleasure to look at this piece of artwork. Yeah, again, it's another one where I'd love to see a series of pieces like this.
And this is quite a big piece as well, isn't it? The original piece. I think it's quite a large painting. So when you see it out of the gallery with the artist and see how big it is, it's even more impressive. And yeah, just the detail and the bold colours and the brush marks. Because is there some collage on this one as well?
I think it's all paint.
Oh, is it? Not a paint.
It's very abstract, isn't it, this?
Yeah. Oh no, I'm wrong. Yes, paper collage and acrylic to create bold, large paintings.
Yeah.
What was it? Which was it? Abstract cubism? Is that when they started using collages in cubism? Is it that sort of style? Emma's just like, I'm not sure. So different types of cubism, weren't they? But yeah, maybe the second stage of
I think it'd be nice to see this piece in person as well, because I think that's something that difficult to capture on the virtual exhibition, sort of the texture of the pieces. And I think that as we move around, I think we have tried to do that, and I think succeeded to some extent. But I think you know, part of seeing an artwork, it's nice to see this sort of texture of a piece.
Do you know what the colours are like, actually? Again, one of my favourite artists, Pablo Picasso. It's a bit like The Weeping Woman by Pablo Picasso. That sort of colour palette that's been chosen here. Yes, it's very good. It's a great piece for us to have in this exhibition. So well done. And I would like to say, anyone that's watching us at the minute, make sure you take time to read all the descriptions and listen to the audio that's attached, because yes, that really does, it gives a different dimension to the artwork when you can see the reason why the artists have chosen.
This piece is by Stephanie Tam Sushin, who is from Malaysia, and so this one's called Hope, and it's inspired by a lantern festival which happens in autumn. So it's someone's sort of representation of that festival. And I think that when you look at it, you can see all the lanterns and the busyness and the sort of sense of a crowd with the atmosphere of a festival and a celebration is just in this painting, isn't it? It's so full of life and colour and vibrancy. And I think the other interesting thing about this picture is that it's got a real sense of perspective as well. So with the sort of the left-hand side of the painting seems further forward than over here. So do you see what I mean?
The way I saw it is, I see it that everybody stood in the bottom right-hand corner, letting off the lanterns.
Yeah.
The lanterns are sort of coming up, getting bigger as they spread out across the sky, and we're actually looking at it from the position of the sky. So the lanterns are coming closer to us, and the people are actually in the distance. That's how I picked it out when I was looking at it. But yeah, the colours in this are vivid. It's a very exciting picture to look at, and yeah, like I said before, touch of cubism.
And I think it works visually without the, if you looked at it as an abstract piece of work without the description, I think just the sort of the the composition of the colours and the yellow running throughout the picture is really pleasing and visually beautiful. And the sort of the brightness of the colours, you know, there's no washiness about it. It's all really vivid and pops.
I know it's a very, very good piece. Yeah, you should be very proud of yourself for producing work like this. It's beautiful. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, it looks like there's so many different layers to it as well. It must have taken quite a long time to create this piece. It's beautiful. I just love all the detail to it. Well done, Stephanie.
So this is basically a film by Wendy about all the things that annoy her in her life.
Loud noise is so annoying in the morning. I'm not a morning person. I get bloody grumpy. I was fast asleep and someone woke me up next door doing DIY outside doing the shed. Half 8 in the morning and it's my day off and they're doing that time. Oh my god. Noisy people on the bus is so annoying me. Someone on the bus like, hello, yeah, I'm at Curly Centre, blah blah blah. And I said to myself, I don't want to bloody hear that. And I said to the lady next to me, yeah, no, why do you want to know that? Some people at work annoy me what they're not doing properly. I'm a cleaner at work. When I mop, some people walk over and leave footprint marks and I'd mop again. Went to the bus stop before, put my hand out, asked running, and can see me, but he did see me and he just dried off. You bastard. Toilets. I hate to clean the toilets, but I have to. It's like, sometimes they don't actually flush the toilet properly. I was having a little fuss in the bloody toilet. It's rank. I was doing a little picking and I found weird things like bottle wine, dirty clothes, dirty shoes. I found one shoe and a dirty pants. Oh, that's disgusting. I had to use tongs. Where I went to the toilet, I found a big, massive spider, and I walked in like, give me the chills. And he was massive. Oh, it was whole black, and he was big. Oh, I hate spiders. Oh. At work, some people put the paper cups in the bin and they don't empty it when they finish. When I take the bag out and it's leaking everywhere. Queues are so annoying me. Oh, I went to the shops, to Primark, and there was a massive queue, and there's only 2 people on the till, and I said to myself, are you bloody kidding me? It's annoying me all the time. Queue, bloody queue. My dog Dylan's so annoying. He keeps farting now and again at night, and it's just disgusting, the smell. Oh, that's stink, dude, disgusting sod. Oh, it's disgusting, that's just, oh. So I put my nose into my pillow. That's disgusting, dirty sod. He stares at me while I'm eating. He's like looking at me like I'm not being bloody fed. He's just watching me like a puppy look. I'm like, no, Dylan, I'm not giving you food. No. My nephew's so annoying me. Oh, you keep spraying my perfume. Please don't spray my perfume. The smell is really strong. I don't know, it smells like a bloody knocking shop. Oh, Mama, don't say that to me.
At the animation juxtaposed with Wendy herself, and I think that was really interesting. And the way there's a bit where the bus is coming towards her, which I just think it's fabulous the way it's all animated together. And I think it also the story really gives a sense of somebody's day and how they spend their time, and I think that's
I think we can all relate to this.
Exactly. Yeah.
I definitely do. I just love this, and it makes me laugh every time. It's so funny, and it's just so relevant and true to life. And like I said, I think we can all find bits in this video that things that happen to us or we agree with.
Yeah, I mean, like, the thing is, for people who are watching this at home, we did have a lot of strong entries this year, and we definitely had we had over 1,000 entries, but we had a lot of strong films. And this particular film, I mean, they weren't chosen by us; they were chosen by a panel of our artists that attend our service in South Yorkshire. But yeah, this one, it's right up my street. The animations are fantastic, and what I really like, and we can actually capture a bit of this in this picture, is I like how text has been presented to us in a comic book style. So this, like, bang 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 bang, some of it's presented to us like a comic strip, which I really enjoy. Like Emma said about the bus, the thing is about this is it is real life, and it's not just real life for somebody with a learning disability or autism, it's just real life for everyone. And I think this is a great documentation of modern life.
I like how the illustrations are brilliant, but then they're layered together, so it almost becomes like a video collage as well. Like for example, the bus drawing is layered on top of a backdrop, with Wendy then layered on top and a bus stop layered on top. I think it's interesting, all the different layers that create an image in it.
I went to the Northern Film School, and one of my specialisms was animation, and I can tell you now, my animation wasn't as good as this. None of the other final year animation students had anything like this. Yeah, it's really to be celebrated. Well done, Wendy. Well done.
Yeah, well done, Wendy. Fantastic.
The next piece. So this piece is by Siddharth Murali Nair from India, and it's called the Desert Safari. And I believe, so he made the piece when he was traveling to Dubai through the deserts. I think this is one of my favourite pieces of work in the exhibition. I love the texture and the sort of ways used tone in it, and just a phenomenal amount of detail and things that you look at it as an image, and then if you look closer, you notice, the camel in the background and all the textures in the sand dunes. I think is fabulous. So I think this is one of my favourites.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, this was almost one of the larger prize winners, wasn't it? This one. They got a lot of praise from the judges, and again we had some fantastic entries from people across India, and it just so happened that this was the one that got chosen. Yeah, no, it's very good. I love the depth of perception of how it just seems to be this one continuous line heading off into the horizon. This also reminds me of that picture where, is it called Relativity, where the stairs are all going in different directions?
Oh yeah.
Do you know the one I mean?
I think you really need to see this one by going on the website yourself, because me looking at this over Emma's browser doesn't pick up all the detail.
There's so many incredible little marks in it, aren't there?
Yeah, and it's all done by pen as well, isn't it? This.
Yeah. I think it's just it must have taken an incredible amount of time. It's beautiful. Yeah, so this is a piece by Abel Young Yohokartono, from Indonesia.
Yeah.
And it's called The Expression of Life. And so they said it describes the spontaneous expression of natural life and the progress of times going on side by side. And I think when you read that description, you start looking at all the different images in this picture, and there is so much going on. I think this is one that you could look at for a long time, and it's really interesting. You know, there's the fish and little houses, and I think these are cars or buses. There's all sorts going on in this image, and I think it's a really interesting idea that it's got sort of nature juxtaposed with everything that happens with our day-to-day life as humans in our communities, all sort of merged together in layers. And it's so vibrant and colourful, and all the different textures and techniques used in it, I think, make it a really interesting overall image.
I've got to say, this is one of my favourite pieces. I could look at this picture for years. I could literally throw my television out of my living room and hang this picture where my TV was, and just study all the little details. Every time you look at it, I just see something new, and I'm like, oh, I didn't see that before, hiding there in this picture. Yeah, the mark making on it's absolutely amazing.
Because it is a mixed media piece, isn't it? So do we know how the artist has created this at all?
I think it's well, the pen certainly looks like Posca pen, because it's drawn on top of different layers. So I think it's a mixture of paint pens. I think it's brilliant, and we've had a lot of positive comments from the general public about this picture. Everyone really likes it. And just says how much they enjoy the sort of busyness of it and the colours. So it's been received really well by the public.
I hang this in my house every day of the week.
Yeah, me too. It's like you both said as well, you could just look at this for hours and continue to see new things every time you look at it.
So this next piece is by Christoph Sana. It's called Dream World, and Christoph is from Hungary. And I don't even know where to start with this piece. I love the colours, I love the composition. I think it's a really interesting composition, and the sort of shapes in it make it really interesting, and the sort of the blending of the colours I think is interesting too. So see in this section here, the colours overlap each other, and they make it really interesting. And I know this in the description, it says this artist for a long time didn't create work, and they've only just started making work, and I think they should definitely carry on, because I think it's a really strong, fabulous image.
Yeah, I mean, the description of this piece is great. Christoph, hats off to you. You need to be doing solo exhibitions in major galleries. This is great. In fact, in the not too distant future, when we hope to have our own gallery space, I mean, we'll definitely be inviting everybody who's taken part in this exhibition to exhibit with us. But yeah, like, I would love to see more of your work. This is it's very good. The colours are great to look at, aren't they, as well? Very vivid. I like the way how in some areas of this picture the colours melt into each other, and then in some other areas they don't, but the two different textures complement each other very well.
Yeah, like Emma said, when you read about Christopher and the fact that he only used to write his name and then come into creating pieces like this, it's just amazing. It's beautiful. I love all the colours, all the different shapes in there. Again, I could look at this for ages.
Yeah, really great piece.
Yeah, Christoph, keep on drawing and inspiring others. Very good.
So this piece, this is another one of my personal favourites. This is by Gethin House from Wales. And the piece is actually inspired by Starry Night by Van Gogh. And I think it's a really incredible take on the piece, and it becomes a work in its own right, I think. For me, it feels like a series of plots of land by the sea and a little winding road. I sort of see it as a sort of bird's eye view. And I really love the choice of colours and the fact that you can see the texture of the paper underneath where it's been drawn. I love the purples. I think the purple's just brilliant. Yeah, really nice, subtle colours that go together really well. I think it's beautiful.
This is lovely. I agree with Emma as well. It's that sort of, it's not that I think it's from an aeroplane, but that sort of like when you're looking slightly above as you're setting off in an aeroplane and things are just a little bit further away, and you get the edge of the land and the sea and the sky. Yeah, no, it's very good. Well done.
Move over, Van Gogh. Van Gogh who? It's all about Gethin now. Well done, Gethin. And yeah, there's the Posca pen on here as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. On card,
all the texture and the detail. I want a piece too, Gethin. They're just beautiful.
And the white, I think that the choice of all the outlines in white, he could have done these in black, which would be sort of what you sort of first think of doing. But I think the fact they're in white makes it so delicate and fits in with all the rest of the colour palette. I think it's really, really great choice of colours.
Oh, another one of my favourites. Look at this.
Do you want to start, Kaylee?
Yeah, I mean, like, where do you start with a piece of artwork that looks like this? So, if I went into a high-end gallery and I saw this piece of artwork sat there, I imagine it's somewhere, I might be somewhere like, I mean, he's Portuguese, isn't he, the artist, but maybe I'm somewhere like Italy, and it's got a price tag on it for €50,000. I wouldn't blink twice, because that's what it looks like. It looks like it should be priced at. This artwork, it'd sit very comfortably in a Michelin star restaurant. It'd sit comfortably in the reception of a 5-star hotel. It'd sit even more comfortably in my house. But yeah, I mean, I just love this. How many favourites am I allowed to have? I'm not sure.
I keep thinking that.
Favourites. Just to say as well, some of the pieces in this exhibition are available for sale. So if anyone would like to purchase any of the pieces, please get in touch, and we can discuss that with the different artists if there's anything that takes your fancy. Yeah, I mean, if you emailed us possibly at info@artworks-sy.co.uk, and we can support you with that. But yeah, I just love it.
I love the richness of the colours used in there.
Yeah, I think all the different reds are really great. Like the the choice of colour, and I think also the layers. You know, you can see it's built up of lots of different layers.
Yeah.
I think that's really great, and I mean, I don't know how long it's taken to create, but you know, some of the layers underneath must have dried before another coat's been added. It's just brilliant. I think this is another one that the texture, it'd be great to see in person.
Yes.
So this piece is by John Goose, I hope I'm saying that right, and it's called Cowboys Don't Paint, and it is a collage, digital collage, so it's been made digitally, so layering up things, I imagine on Photoshop or something like that. And yeah, in the description it says that Johnny is a storyteller, and I think that this piece really shows that, you know, it's creating a story, and there's lots of really interesting parts of this image in the background that you don't quite notice at first, and we noticed more when we were starting to write the audio descriptions, so like the lantern or paint pot, or there's lots of question marks, things in the background that are interesting that you sort of think, I wonder why that's there, or I wonder what this is. So yeah, I think it's really interesting. I like the sort of zine-like quality of it. I think that's really great, and it's really different from any of the other work in the exhibition. Yeah, fabulous.
Yeah, I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head with the word interesting. I mean, yeah, it's fun. The layers of collaging are perfect for me. We had a lot of collages, different types of collages enter. And yeah, I would say this piece is just really interesting to look at. It's not just interesting, but yeah, it's like, it's fun because you think cowboys don't paint. No, cowboys don't paint. Makes me question as well, because I appreciate he's a storyteller, but it makes me question whether he in fact thinks of himself as a cowboy. Because if he does, then this is a piece of artwork about himself, and he has not included any painting in it, I don't think. The little red bits, they're not painted, are they?
They might be. So they also, I don't know if you can read the small text, but it says it is presumptuous to try and paint with poor materials, which I think that's quite fun as well.
Right.
Like,
yeah,
not taking yourself too seriously.
Yeah, no, well done, John. Yeah, cowboys don't paint.
I'd love to see more of John's work. I think it's really interesting.
Yeah, I think it would make a really interesting exhibition.
Definitely.
Yeah. Stevie the Wonder Chicken. So this is another favourite of our audience. Everyone likes Stevie the Wonder Chicken. So, I mean, I love this piece straight away. I love the sort of the sketchy, quick quality of it. I think it's fabulous, and how it's captured. I have chickens myself, and I think they've all got really definite personalities, and I think you can see the personality of this chicken in this picture. Yeah, I just think it's brilliant. I kind of want to have my own chicken called Stevie.
I mean, it's simple, which isn't a bad thing by any stretch of the imagination. It's well drawn. It's another fun picture for the exhibition. Yeah, I mean, Stevie, this chicken, he's a rock star, and he makes me smile. And you don't need to wonder why he's the Wonder Chicken. It's clearly obvious that he is the Wonder Chicken.
Yeah.
I want to go to a party with Stevie the Wonder Chicken. I think it'd be fun.
I know all the team at ArtWorks absolutely loved this piece, didn't they? Did. So this one has been a favourite.
Staff favourite.
Within ArtWorks.
Yeah, Heather, I think it's really great, and I know you said that you tried to do it previously and spent a lot more time on it, and the result wasn't the same. And I can completely relate to that, because sometimes when you're drawing and you're just go with it and just do a sketch, you capture more of the soul or the expression of something that way. So I think, yeah, it's brilliant.
Well done, Heather.
So this is a piece by David James called Textures in Gold. This is another piece from Venture Arts in Manchester. And okay, this is I guess a collage of lots of different objects, mixed media. So it's got lots of different objects painted and stuck into the artwork. So for example, you can see just here there's some bits of Lego and sort of cans and bubble wrap, and I think it's just a really interesting piece to look at, and you're constantly seeing new things. And I think overall the sort of texture it makes, and the fact that it's gold and it's got all the different ridges and layers, you get this sort of shiny parts to it, which I think are captured really well in this image, because I think this is one of the ones that it's almost hard to view on a screen, because there's so much depth and layers and bits to it. I think this image just captured it really well. You probably can't see it as well on this because I'm sharing the screen, but if you go on the exhibition, you can actually pick out the details and all the different layers on this piece.
Yeah, I mean, like his use of objects, even though obviously it is three-dimensional, to me this picture's got a very sculpture-like quality. The way he's just used modern day objects to create a piece of artwork. I mean, giving it this metallic finish just takes it up a step or two. Yeah, it's very good, David. And there isn't anything else in this exhibition that looks like this. So,
I don't think you look at artists for inspiration, David, but I think your work's not really like these people, but Anton Kiefer uses a lot of objects in his work, and Mark Bradford as well. Two great artists to check out, because they use lots Textures of found objects in their work. So yeah, I think it's great.
I do like the subtle, because like you can't really see it on there, but then if you do see these like subtle different colours in, it's also running through it towards the bottom of the...
Yeah, I think these are drawn on this bit here.
Yeah,
I think these might be drawn on afterwards with some sort of pen. So yeah, I think it'd be great to see this one in real life, just to, fully appreciate it.
Definitely looks better when you're not viewing it through our recording. You need to
you can see a lot more details.
Detail. They're only based across in Manchester, aren't they? Hopefully we'll get to meet David at some point.
Yeah. So this piece is by Anya Bliss, and it's called The Most Dangerous Men, or Most Dangerous Man Alive.
Yes.
So the repeat pattern in the background, the green pattern, is Boris Johnson's Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump. And then in the middle, there's the LGBTQ flag and some important figures from their community. So Andre Lord, Marsha P. Johnson, Dame Ethel Smith, Frida Kahlo, Lee Bowery, Magnus Hirschfeld, and Alan Turing. So turn that off now. So the background, and then you've got all these vibrant middle section with the LGBTQ.
It's about 6 foot across, this one, Emma. It's a very big piece of artwork, isn't it?
Yeah, it is huge. So it's 600 centimeters by 300.
Wow, right.
And yeah, it must have been a phenomenal amount of work. I love the concept. I love the sort of the characters in it. I think they're really captured in the piece, and I think you could have chosen lots of different ways to approach this work, but I think using the textiles is really interesting, almost like a banner. There's something very like protest art about this piece, and I really love it.
Yes, there is, isn't there? I mean, this was Michael Morris's, one of our judges. This was his choice for his prize, but this got a lot of appreciation by all the judges. It was liked by everyone. I really hope we get to see more pieces of artwork like this in the years to come. It's it's very interesting to look at, and thank you so much for submitting this, because I'm honoured that we get to show pieces like this.
Yeah,
thank you.
So this is a piece by 15 Days of Clay, which are a collective, The Gathering. So they made this piece sort of exploring their journey as a community and the things that make them a group. And I think that as a collection of pieces made by an ArtWorks, you can see their individual lights and expressions in the piece, but there's a unity and a connection between them, which I think is really strong and interesting. And yeah, I think you can see they're a really close-knit community. I think it's a really brilliant piece of work.
It is literally The Gathering, isn't it? It's a gathering of fantastic artists that have come together to work in collective unison to create pieces of artwork that show their individual styles within them, but also are unified to create The Gathering. I'd say I'd have got one word for these statues, and it's epic. Yes, I'm very happy that this won second place, wasn't it? This one, is that right?
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward again to seeing these in person at the Wentworth Woodhouse exhibition.
Looking at the detail in every piece, it'll take us ages to just look at that one piece with all.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to look brilliant in the show. So this piece of work is by Laura Orstman, and it's Beck. And I'm not sure. Let me just check what. So it's an oil painting, and I mean it's a very, just the detail is incredible. The skill to create this is just fabulous. I love the colours. I love the sort of the tones on the face are just really impressive. And I like the background as well. It's so clear and unfussy that you really focus on the figure. It's brilliant piece of work.
Yes, I mean, like the technical skills here are amazing, and we did have there was some stiff competition for Laura from Australia for other pieces where the technical skills were very good. So yes, well done, Laura, for being selected. I was having a conversation with some of the other members of staff that work at ArtWorks this morning, because I know who Beck is, and Beck sang what I would call his most famous song, which was Loser in 1993. And I was like, come on, you can all remember when he sang that song. And they were all like, well, no, I was born in 1997 or 96. And I was like, oh, how old am I? Oh, do you know the song I mean, Emma? That Loser one?
No, I don't.
Come on, Liz, how does it go?
I'm not singing.
Just say the words so I remember it.
What is it? I'm a loser, baby.
So why don't you kill me? That one. No. Oh, I'll tell you what, Laura. just like before, we're going to get in touch with Beck.
Yeah, I think that'd be
how fantastic this is. Because I know who Beck is, so I'll be able to tell him. There we go.
Yeah, I think
Any feedback, Laura?
Oh, sorry.
I'm just going to say, yeah, just the detailing. In fact, I had one member of staff when they originally looked at it asked if it was a photograph on first glance.
Wow.
So, yeah, the way you've captured Beck in this painting's beautiful, and I'm sure Beck will love this if he sees it.
Yeah, definitely.
Even the shirt.
Yeah, just the details.
Oh, lovely.
So this is a triptych. So I'm going to run through all three first for us to see. And it's called the Mother and Daughter Triptych by Julie Courter English from Canada. So these are all pictures of her and her daughter when she was a baby. So I might come out actually of the view so we can see all three together.
Sure.
These are beautiful.
So yeah, I think I don't know where to start. The colours are really interesting. I know Kaylee mentioned Picasso earlier, but a couple of these are reminiscent of his blue period, where it's the tones and the colours in them. I think they're really, really beautiful pieces, and I really think they express sort of a feeling which Julie describes in her description about feeling really anxious being a new mom, and particularly struggling to find sort of her identity as a mom with autism, and worrying that people were judging her. And I think you can see the sort of the love, but also that sort of the tension of feeling unsure in the paintings. I think they're so expressive, and yeah, really beautiful. And I think this was Alison Lapper's Judge's Choice piece. It really spoke to her.
Yeah, I mean, like I would say, I'm a mother, and these really speak to me as well. And I just need to say that I think every person who is a mother, regardless of disability, does wonder whether you're doing a good job. Am I doing the right things? Am I doing okay? And for Julie, she had her daughter confirm this later on in life, that she always felt loved, and that she had a great childhood. And I suppose that's what every mother would want to hear, that actually, yeah, no, you did do all right. So yeah, no, lovely pieces, and I'm really happy that Alison chose these. She had nothing but good words to say, so well done. Well done for getting such positive feedback from Alison. Thank you.
Yeah, I think this is one of my favourites in the exhibition, especially the one on the right. It is on the right, the one with the blue. Yeah, this one.
I actually like the middle one's my favourite, but yeah.
Which one's your favourite, Kaylee, out of the
I don't have a favourite. I appreciate them all as a series. Yeah, I think if one was missing, or if two were missing, it wouldn't have the same.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Right. So next we've got Simone Cassis's Fate.
Oh, Simone, this is great.
And this is from Italy. Simone's from Italy, and yeah, I think this one for me just there's so much feeling and emotion in this piece. I love the medium you use. I love the different layers. Just the expression of the face, the strong, bold lips, I think are brilliant. I love this piece.
Yeah, Simone, this is very fun. I'd love to see a series of work in this style, as well as just having this one in our exhibition. Again, maybe when we've got our own gallery, you can be one of the first people we invite to have an exhibition with us. I like how as well, you could actually turn this because this is the way this piece of artwork is, but you could turn it so it's landscape, and it'd look a little bit different because it's sort of like a bit of a hello, like going over a shoulder. Yeah, no, I love it. Absolutely love it. Well done.
I love the softness of the colours, but then like the lips are so bright, aren't they, and strong.
The purples as well, and I don't know if you can see, but that blue line, I don't know if it's because the blue line has been drawn just after the red, but that blue line, it fades into green quite a lot, so I don't know if that is, it's surely the same pen, isn't it?
Maybe it's with the yellow in the background.
Yeah,
So delicate. Love it.
Lovely, 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 lovely. Very fun.
This is a piece by James Shreve, and it's called Pandemic Self-Portrait. And I really like the colours in this piece. It's really nice and bold. You could just imagine it, couldn't you? Blown up on a big billboard. I think it'd be really amazing. Or I think it would work really well as screen prints as well. But I think it's a digital image. And James mentioned in his write-up about his work that his masks have become like a comfort blanket, and I can certainly relate to that. But the other thing I think is quite interesting about the mask is that it's really recognisable of the time we're living in now, but also how anonymous the portrait is. So I think that's quite interesting because that's what the face masks do, isn't it? You walk into a supermarket and see someone you know, and you don't recognise them because they've got a mask on, so it makes everyone quite anonymous.
Yes, I know it's a very interesting piece. This, I mean, James could be the next Keith Haring, definitely. He has managed to pull all those sort of colours that you'd expect to see from one of Keith's works, the yellows and the reds and the blacks. But he's, I'm assuming he pulls inspiration from there. But yeah, he's giving it a very modern twist. It's the only piece of artwork in the exhibition that addresses the current pandemic. Me and Liz we were discussing this, weren't we, just a little while ago, whether we felt like the black and white squiggles behind his head, whether what we thought they related to, whether they might be germs or how he's done that. But yes, it's very good, very good.
Yeah, as Kaylee says, I think it's definitely like, I see that it's sort of inspired by Keith Haring's work, like like the chalk outlines he does round figures and things, and the bold sort of red line reminds me of that, and it's very stylish as well. This, I think, it's just bold. It's current, and like Emma said, it's about what's happening now. And yeah, it's just a great piece of work.
Yeah, well done, James.
So the next piece is by Rachel Schubkegel. Probably pronounced that wrong, sorry Rachel. And it's called Rachel's Favourite Things. And this was actually James Lingwood from Art Angels' favourite, his Judge's Choice piece. And I really, really love this piece because of the repeat patterns and how she's taken one mark, one drawing, and repeated it over and over again. So it almost looks like a crowd or gathering of people or houses. So it's densely populated in some areas, and then some areas there's less marks. So I think it makes a really interesting pattern and abstract piece of work.
Yes, I mean, I've got a great appreciation of the use of colour in images, but I've I would say I've got an even greater appreciation when somebody can put one colour on a piece of paper and have such a stunning visual effect. Again, this is a piece that I would quite happily hang in my house. I've already mentally picked out a wall. I can put this on. It's cost me a fortune, this, if I have to buy all this artwork, won't it? It's going to happen. Just going to have a living exhibition year on year in my house with every bit of wall taken up. No, I mean, to be fair, Rachel, this artwork shouldn't be hung in my house. This should be hung in a high-end gallery, accompanied by a series of work. I would love to see some of your other pieces. Yeah, it's very interesting. We have been exploring mark making quite recently at ArtWorks in similar fashions. And having all the work we've been producing as well. So yes, Rachel, more of this, please. It's very good.
Yeah, Rachel, I just love how much is going off in this piece, and the overlap. So it'd be quite interesting to know what the repeated patterns are, because I know Rachel likes to draw things like bunnies and hot pink cheeseburgers, as it says in the information. But yeah, the more and more you look at that, like with some of the other pieces, you pick out more detail. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing this one in person at the exhibition.
I'd love to see as well. I'd love to see what it's like when Rachel draws people and animals. I'd love to see what they look like. I wonder if they've got a very Tim Burton-esque style to them. I shouldn't preempt her artwork because maybe it's nothing like that, but yeah, it's the sort of vibe I get.
So this next piece is another Judge's Choice piece. This was Tony Heaton's Judge's Choice, and it's by Jack Haslam. It's called Waiting Game. And I think this piece is really interesting because of the different things he's used and the symbolic relevance of it. So he's stitched this artwork onto a hospital gown, and the piece is all about the anxiety you feel in hospital, and the hand on the person's back is the sort of reassuring hand, giving them reassurance about what's happening. And I think that's something that is really recognisable to people, the pattern on the fabric, and also that feeling of when you're in hospital and you're a bit unsure or nervous. And I think this will be an interesting one to see the actual piece, because I think the delicateness of the stitching is beautiful, and I think that's something that will be really nice to see, sort of physicality of that.
Yes, it will, won't it? Yeah, I'd say it's very relatable for anyone who has ever been in the position where they're waiting to hear potentially good news or bad, and the reassuring hand of a care giver or worker within that sort of environment is represented here by the hand. It's fantastic the way he's done it so that you're not able to see the face of the person in this, which means that it's more transferable for you to imagine yourself in the shoes of, I mean, even though this is a man, I'm assuming to be in the shoes of this person. I can't actually tell from this image, but I feel like the green thread that's been used is the same colour green that features in the gown in the background. I'd be interested to know why he chose the colour red, and I will actually ask him when.
It's to represent blood tests, the red.
Is it to represent blood tests? Does it say that in his information?
Yeah.
It's very good. Oh, blood tests, right.
I just think it's very powerful, this piece, and I think a lot of people can relate to this. in some way, whether it's themselves or a family or a friend, just going through these experiences. And this is done on a machine as well, so it's not being hand embroidered at it, has it? It's been done on a sewing machine.
I don't know for sure, but it's very tiny stitches, so I'd imagine so, yeah. So the next piece we've got here is by Elliot Lord, and it's called Comings and Goings, and it's referencing Dominic Cummings and his actions during the first lockdown of our pandemic. I think this piece is really great. The humour in it, very. You can imagine it in a newspaper, couldn't you?
Yeah, you can imagine it Times or something. Yeah.
Commenting on what our politicians are getting up to. So yeah, I think it's really relevant to the situation we're in now, where we're questioning what the government have done right during the pandemic and what they've got wrong, and yeah, I think it's really interesting, but also light-hearted and fun piece.
Yes, I mean, I would say that even though this is an international arts competition, the panel that select the artwork to be included are all adults with learning disabilities and autism from the UK. So they would always find something that is politically charged relating to our government. I imagine they're going to have more of an interest in that. However, I would say we didn't really get any political art in, did we, apart from this piece?
I guess the other pieces, I guess Anya's was quite political in some ways.
Yes, it is, yeah. The shading on his face is, it's very interesting. It's quite light-hearted, it makes you smile. Yeah, it's nice to have a piece of artwork in like this, definitely.
I think it definitely looks like Dominic Cummings as well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I love the facial expression, and I like that he's not just stuck to like just using felt tips or pencil crayon. He's used a mix of different things.
He's used Indian ink in this.
Yeah, and oil pastels as well.
Yeah, I think you can see on where the glasses are, I think you get the sense of the reflection of the glasses because of the different use of medium.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
I wonder what he's thinking as well. What is he thinking in this picture? It'd be lovely to have a chat with Elliot about this piece as well in the future. Very good, Elliot. Elliot Lord as well. What a name for a piece of artwork like that. Oh, look at this.
This is by Ahmed Daniel, and it's called Three Women Carrying Baskets, and it's representing the Kapong women in Malaysia, which is a community. It's a painted piece, and I know our judges were really impressed with this one and they thought it might be embroidered because of all the detail and how delicate it is. But you can't really see on this because I'm sharing my screen, but if you go into the exhibition, you can actually see the tiny little marks in this piece. And the thing I like about this work is the fact that you can view it just as visually as a pattern and sort of an abstract piece, and then if you look a bit further, then you see the women through the pattern. So I think that's really interesting, and it's taken a lot of planning to get that sort of detail and that effect. Yeah, I think
I know you can't really see it from there, but I love like the background, the blue, because there's a lot of sort of green and white detail on there as well, isn't there?
Yeah, like I say, it's worth going in the exhibition, isn't it, to really look at this piece of work up close. Because yeah, there's some fabulous detail.
This was one of, from memory, this was one of the first pieces that we actually got into the exhibition. Sorry, not into the exhibition, that came in when people started submitting their entries. And I remember seeing this piece come up, and I just thought, wow, look at this amazing piece of artwork from the other side of the world. And it made me very excited to think that we were going to get to see lots of different pieces of artwork of this caliber, and we have. And yeah, I did think this one might win a prize. We can't obviously all win a prize, but yeah, it got a lot of praise from the judges, and it certainly gets a lot of praise from us as well. So well done.
This piece of work is actually our first prize winner.
Yes, it is.
This is by Emily Utley, and it's called Sleeping Boy. And I think everybody in the judging panel agreed they, across the board, loved this piece of work. I think the choice of colours is just brilliant, and how crisp they are. I also think it's really interesting that she's chosen to leave the colour from the figure. He's completely colourless, and he seems almost like he's a ghost or disappearing. And I think when you read her description, she talks about someone with depression, and I think that almost by leaving the colour from him, you can sort of sense and feel that in this image. So yeah, I think it's really beautiful.
Yes, I know it's it touches upon depression and how it can make somebody feel, and again, relatable to many people who have ever felt like this, whether for a short period of time or a long period of time. Yeah, it was well liked by the judges. As Emma said, the colours that have been used in this are fantastic. I'm really interested in things like the green line that runs in between this boy's legs, to represent that edge of his leg, because the colours haven't then been used up at the top round his face, and they've gone for more, would you say they're pencil or pen at the top of his face? It's hard to say from looking at this. But just how some of the fingers are brown and some of them are darker, and yeah, it's a very nice piece to look at this, and I hope we're giving it the best representation through our exhibition, because it deserves to be seen by a lot of people. This piece of artwork, it's very good.
Yeah, the colours are so bright, and they're just sort of really happy colours, but then because the boy's laid there just in white, it gives you that emptiness, doesn't it? So you can sort of feel how that person's feeling through the work.
The judges were discussing whether they thought this person was actually in a serene state, or whether the person's in a sort of a state of anguish, and even now looking at it, I'm not sure. So yes, again, looking forward to having a chat with Emily about her artwork.
Yes, congratulations, Emily, as well.
Yeah, well done to everyone that's been included. Like, yeah, well done. Aha.
So this piece is by Asa Caney Williams, who actually attends ArtWorks, and I love this piece because of the sort of freedom in the way he's expressed himself, and the sort of the way he's used the colours and then the sort of dark lines over the top, I think it's really striking. I think would be, yeah, fabulous. So we make things into fabrics and prints, and I think it'd look brilliant on a huge wall hanging this piece. I like how you can see things in the work, you know, so everybody sees a different image in this piece, and we've talked about this quite a lot, how you see different. I remember you, Kaylee, saying you can see a bird.
I can see a bird. Yeah, I can see a bird with a beak, definitely. Somebody said mushrooms. Somebody else said a person. I mean, you could say there's a little slug floating around in the air if you wanted to as well. That's what I like, hovering around at the top there.
You can definitely knowing Asa, his personality comes across in this piece of work, doesn't it? So the spontaneous and the energy.
Yeah, there's a lot of movement in it, isn't there?
Yeah.
The thing is about Asa, which obviously we would know, but the audience at home wouldn't, is that for a number of years, Asa has struggled to handle normal materials that other artists might handle, like pencils and paintbrushes and crayons and chalks. He just snaps them all in half, not because he wants to, just because he can't control the dexterity of his hands. So this is one of the mediums that he chooses to work in, using bingo dabbers. And yeah, I mean, I love all the little splodges. I like the colours that he's chosen to use, and I like it when they bleed into each other as well on this. I think it's very good. Well done, Asa.
Yes, well done.
So next up, this is a piece by Clive Beryl Izatyawan. I probably said that wrong too. Called Living in Harmony. And
Clive from again?
Yeah, so he's from Indonesia.
Indonesia, sorry.
And I think that you get this from reading the piece, but just looking at the image, it's a very sort of free and happy image, isn't it? I love all the colour. I love the colour palette as well, because it's quite a select colour palette, isn't it? And yet it feels really vivid and bright. I really like the expressions on the faces. I think you've captured different people and different expressions. And yeah, I think it's a really uplifting and happy piece, this one.
I think all tigers should look like this. I would pay so much money to go see tigers in zoos or in the natural habitat that looked exactly like this. Absolutely lovely. Yeah, it's a really happy picture, and as Emma said, it's there's a select palette of colours that have been used, but you feel like you're looking at a lot more, just because of the clever use of shading. Yeah, there's so many little swirls and marks, and even just the use of black around some parts of the images. It's very clever, because you might see little black outlines around certain parts of the ducks and the tigers, but they don't necessarily feature in other places. So it's not like he's trying to get that. It's not like he's picked a light source and that's shining in on the picture. Yeah, it's just very sweet, this, and I think the title suits this artwork. It's very good. Well done, Clive. It's such a brilliant piece of artwork.
I think Kaylee's just pinched what I wanted to say. It's so sweet, because I was going to say the same. It's so sweet, and it definitely lives up to its title, Living in Harmony. So the people and the ducks and the tigers, and yeah, it's really joyful, it's bright, and it's, yeah, I love the different tones of the blue as well. And the brush, all the different brush strokes. And I can't see, is that a signature at the bottom underneath?
It is, yeah, where it says, that says Clive at the bottom.
That's really great.
Yes, well done, Clive. Again, I would love to see more of your work. Oh, lovely.
So this piece is by Blaine Morris, and it's called A Whale of a Good Time, I think. Let me just check.
Yes.
Yeah, A Whale of a Good Time. And it's quite a small piece of work. Now I love this piece, and I know that a lot of the visitors to the exhibition have commented about loving this piece. I love the way that it's layered up, so you can see that the whale and the boat is one set of patterns in the background, and then it's been drawn into, and then there's more layers of colour on top, and so you get all these amazing patterns on the whale, and it all connects together. And yeah, I think that the whale's really expressive. It's got character. Yeah, I think it's brilliant piece of work.
Yes, I mean, quite interestingly, we had a number of people enter pictures of whales, which was quite a surprise. And to be fair, so many of the whale pictures were that good. We could have literally done an exhibition on all the different whales, couldn't we?
Yeah.
There's some really nice ones that came through. But yes, this one is the one that was chosen above them all. I love the shape of the whale, sort of like dancing above the wave. I like Emma said, just the use of layers, and you can almost see the paint coming through underneath the light blue as well. It's just very interesting. I'd like to know what the little thing is below the sun, because we were discussing whether we think that's a cloud or whether it's actually someone firing something out of a cannon. So yeah, I'd like to have a chat with the artist about that. Yeah, it's lovely, and it's got a lot of I feel like it's pulled some sort of a tribal qualities to it. I'm thinking more of Australian influence. Do you know what I mean? That's sort of like Aboriginal art.
Yeah.
If you've ever seen Aboriginal pictures of animals, I mean, maybe that is not where the inspiration for this has come from, but yes, I really enjoy looking at this, so thank you very much for sharing this with us.
Yeah, as Emma and Kelly have both said, you can even see at the top through the blues, the circles from the orange, so it's definitely been layered up, because you can see that pattern running all the way through the picture. And I like the use of the white as well for the outline. I could definitely imagine this in a book.
Yes, Liz,
Yeah, it's quite illustrative, isn't it? There's a story to it.
Yeah, definitely.
What's going to happen next?
Yes, we'll have to see. Maybe he'll share that next year, and that'll be his next picture.
Yeah. So this piece by Thomas Miles is another one of our prize-winning pieces. I think this came third.
Yes.
And it's called Masking Conflict, and I think it's a really interesting image for all sorts of reasons. When you read the information about the piece, the artist explains about his experience of masking, and explains masking for people who don't know about it, which is basically someone with autism, trying to hide personal traits and things about them to appear more normal. And I think it's really, it gives you a sort of insight into someone's feelings, and seeing someone feeling very vulnerable or seeming very vulnerable. Sort of, there's a lot of raw emotion in this piece, I think. Yeah, I really like it. Really strong.
I was going to say, I like, yeah, you get a lot of emotion coming from this picture. And I trained as a photographer initially, and I did landscape photography for years, and I know a good photograph when I see it, and this is definitely one. And just so you know, Thomas, we had a lot of strong photographs entered this year, so well done for not only being included in the exhibition but also winning one of the top prizes. Yeah, I mean, the composition of this shot, it's beautiful. The colours are dulled down into such a way where it makes it very pleasing to the eye to look at. Yeah, it's a self-portrait, and it's an expression of you as a person and everything that you were trying to achieve and portray in this image. You've done it, and it's a very clear story. So thank you very much for sharing this with us. It's excellent.
Yeah, when the submissions were coming through, this was definitely one that stood out to me instantly. And I believe it's a series of portraits that Thomas has done, and I'd be so interested to see what the others are like as well. Yeah, I find it quite mesmerising, and I love the tones of the colours in this photograph.
Yes, no, well done, Thomas. Very, very good.
Well done.
Oh, this is so good.
So this piece is by Kota Urai, and it's called My Life Unfolding, an Origami Story.
Are these all origami cuttings?
So yeah, they're all origami cuttings. So the detail, when you appreciate exactly how they're made, is absolutely astonishing. And I think it's interesting looking at the individual images and seeing the detail and seeing the images you can see within them.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of detail in there, and I think this is a piece that takes quite a lot of time to look at because there's so much detail in it. They're incredibly intricate. It'd be fabulous to see this in real life, because I think that the detail's amazing. And I love the colours, so the backdrop behind them really makes them pop. So yeah, I think it's a brilliant.
I could literally, with this picture, I could turn this way and then I could turn back and I could assume I was in the Tate Modern. I just absolutely love this. I think it'd look, because I appreciate it's digital, I think it'd look amazing, blown up, massive, spread across a giant wall. Yeah, I mean, the artist has been doing this since he was 14 years old, and his mother expressed that she didn't know of an outlet where she could share the artwork that her son has been making, and she's quite grateful to us that we've started this competition so that there's a place like this for people to display their artwork. And all I can say to artwork like this is I'm not surprised to see it, because me and Emma and Liz are fortunate enough to work with 80 fantastic artists with learning disabilities and autism, and we know what they can achieve, and we know the high standard of artwork that's produced. So I'm not surprised to see something of this standard, because it's what I expect to see, and I just hope that in years to come that this isn't a surprise anymore when we get to see fantastic pieces of artwork like this, and actually it's, oh well, so what, that person has autism, why would we expect it to be anything other than absolutely amazing? So yes, his mother should be very proud of him, and he should be very proud of himself, because the technical skill involved to create these is, I couldn't do it, not in a million years.
I mean, each piece would work just as a piece of artwork by itself, but to see them as a collective, beautiful, and just to see all the details and all the different things you can see. So it's like his mum mentions about dragons and dancing people and monsters, and you can definitely spider webs, you can definitely pick out lots of different things within each one of these cuttings. I'd be fascinated to know how long it takes just to do one with all the detail.
I would as well. I'd like to know how old he is as well. How long has it taken him to perfect it? I wonder.
Yeah. So this piece is called Spring Meadow, and it's by Dubrovskaya. Oh, I'm going to get this completely wrong. Dubrovskaya Evgenaya Vladimirovna. I'm sorry, I've completely butchered your name.
Well done, Emma.
None of us are fluent in Russian, so we do apologise.
I'm sure that if you listen to the audio description, Michael's perfected it on there because he did a lot of research to make sure he was pronouncing people's names. But yes, I'm sorry. And this piece is actually the top of the table, and the detail on this is incredible. It is so intricately painted. There is an incredible amount of detail. Yeah, this is another piece you could look at for an awful long time, and it'll take a lot of time to appreciate every detail in it.
Did it take the artist 18 months to create this?
Yeah, which is, it's incredible. The colours are brilliant. I love the red and the orange together. I think it works really well. Yeah, beautiful.
Each piece is just like a mirror image, so just to get that, so it just repeats the pattern so seamlessly. So it just looks like, you know, if you put a mirror towards it, you'd just be looking at a reflection.
Yeah.
Really tell that there's been 18 months worth of work going to this as a piece of artwork, and yeah, just so you know, you are looking at the top of the table, so it's not even been painted onto paper. It's an actual working table. Now, when my mother came into this exhibition the other day, she rang me up and she said, I tried my best. I don't know if there's something wrong with the programme, but I couldn't see the table. And I was like, Mother, it's a piece of artwork on top of the table. Do you really need to see the table legs underneath? And she was like, I suppose not, no. So for anybody else who has also wandered into our exhibition and has read it as a tabletop, I am very sorry if you're disappointed that we haven't included the legs.
I think this is one of the pieces where it just doesn't do it justice, does it? Then seeing it, well, we've seen photographs on it on the table, and then you can really appreciate all the details. So please take some time to really have a look at this piece and all the detail that's included in it, because from first glance I don't think
you're not picking it up, are we, on this?
No.
So yes, please visit our exhibition.
Then our last piece. So this piece is by Eleanor Rowlands, and it's called Teapot Grief. Yeah, Teapot Grief, and it's film installation. Now, I love this piece. I think it's a really emotional piece to watch. You can see that, you can hear the grief, and I think that visualize it through the steam, and just as an image, I think it's really interesting how they've captured that theme in it. I like the subtitles. I think the subtitles are really great and give it an extra dimension. And I think that it'd be great to experience this piece in reality as an installation, because I think that having it so the sounds were surrounding you in a darkened room would be really impressive.
Yeah, I do as well, to have it as like an immersive experience. I mean, we've tried to do it justice in our online exhibition by putting it into a different coloured space, but yeah, I think this would really benefit from her being seen in real life, and being blown up onto screens that potentially surround you. So it's not even just one screen. Maybe they are rounded screens.
Make quite an interesting site-specific work as well. So viewing it in, a derelict space, or like a church, or I think it'd take on different emotions and feelings depending on where it was, and I think that could be quite interesting.
I think it's like you said, when you say derelict spaces, I think it would need to be shown in an environment that's quite cold, because I feel like that might be the vibe that is that the artist's going for within this. So you walk in, you can like really put yourself in her shoes, and what it's like to feel this sort of grief.
It's a definite experience, this piece, isn't it? And I could just imagine it in somewhere like the Yorkshire Sculpture Park, or
in the chapel there. It'd be really interesting.
Yeah.
Would love to see some more work by this artist in the future.
I think that's our final piece of the exhibition.
Oh.
So please do go check it out in person, and you can have a proper look round and see the work for yourself. And I think it'd be good to spend some time looking at pieces, because you can take on our opinions, but you'll have lots of thoughts and opinions of your own about the work. And I think seeing it and spending time looking at it is really important. And I do recommend listening to the audio descriptions as well. We've put those on to help make the exhibition accessible to more people. But I do think that they're really interesting and gave me a different viewpoint for some of the artworks.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, I mean, I suppose I've just got to say a big thank you to everyone that works at ArtWorks, and all the service users and the judges, and Wentworth Woodhouse, and all of our sponsors, because when we had a dream of doing this, that dream seemed like it might not ever be a reality, but we just put our skates on and started, even with the pandemic, going to prep it all. And we're very impressed by the high standard of work, and even if you weren't included this year in the exhibition, please don't let that put you off from applying next year, because there were so many entries that were so good. I mean, we've shown you 34 pieces. I could have quite easily sat and shown you 400 pieces today that I found inspiring. So yes, we do hope you enjoy it. And then the exhibition will be on in person at Wentworth Woodhouse, and that will be from the 29th of May until the end of June. Is that about right, Emma?
We'll be posting more details about that on our social media and on our website. And I'll put a link in the description below to the exhibition. So if you're interested in going and checking that out, or finding any more information about ArtWorks or the exhibition, I'll post all that information down below so you can check that out.
Yay. And then we're also going to be doing some interviews with some of the artists. So some of these overhanging questions we had about pieces of artwork, we're going to be meeting some of the lovely artists that have been involved. Not necessarily all the prize winners. We're mixing it up so we get to meet lots of different people. So yeah, please check back for that.
Yeah, we're so honoured that so many people took part, and just the quality of the work is just outstanding, and everyone that has submitted a piece should be really pleased with themselves, because they made the judging process very difficult. And as Kaylee said, we could have easily shown you so many more today. Well done to every single one of you that entered the competition. We really look forward to receiving the entries, and every morning we were so excited to see the new pieces coming through. So well done to you all, and thank you. And carry on doing what you're doing, because it's brought absolute pleasure to us to see all your artwork, and I'm sure it's brought pleasure to all the people that have seen it on the exhibition as well. So yes, thank you.
Lovely. So do we say bye to everyone now?
Yeah, bye everyone.
Yeah, bye everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, that is the end of our main presentation for this evening. So thank you to Emma, Kaylee and Liz for giving us a guided tour through the exhibition and telling us all about the artwork. That's been really great. And thank you to you guys for watching and for getting involved in the chat as well. It's been really great to hear your comments and opinions and thoughts and stuff. So thank you all so much.
And please do remember to join us back here in 2 weeks for the first Meet the Artist session. That will be on the 28th of April, and the tickets will be available through Eventbrite again, and it will be advertised on Facebook and Instagram, so watch out for that.
Right, and it doesn't look like we've got any outstanding questions going on in the chat at the minute, so we'll leave it there for this evening. So thank you all so much for watching, and from Dominica and I, goodbye.
See you in 2 weeks.